F-15 Active. This Frankenstein fighter was better than the F-15 Eagle. NASA's Active program resulted in a Frankenstein fighter with a variety of components and systems that managed to make the legendary F-15 even better. The F-15 has long been a legendary fighter, but NASA's Active program aimed to make it even better. Faced with the looming threat of nuclear war with the Soviet Union, the United States began testing next-generation capabilities before the 10th F-15 even rolled off the assembly line. F-15 program manager for Boeing said the idea of this particular configuration came from a realization that there is a real challenge the Air Force faces with air superiority. In the 44 years since the F-15 Eagle first entered service, the air superiority fighter has proven its combat mettle time and time again, racking up an astonishing 104 kills against enemy fighters without ever losing a bout. Today, the twin-engined F-15 remains the fastest fighter in the American stable with a top speed of Mach 2.5 that eclipses both its supercomputing younger sisters, the F-22 and F-35. There's no doubt that the F-15 is among the world's most capable dogfighters, but that doesn't mean nothing on the aircraft could be improved by throwing a bit more money and research at it, and that's precisely what NASA chose to do with its Advanced Controls Technology for Integrated Vehicles Active program, among some others. In order to explore new possibilities, the Air Force decided to take a prototype for what would have been the two-seater F-15B and use it as a one-off technology demonstrator in a series of advanced efforts. For Boeing then is that an upgraded F-15C can help bridge the gap left by the F-22 cutback, at least until the next generation air dominance program comes online in large numbers around 2040. In 1984, the Flight Dynamics Laboratory out of the Air Force Aeronautical Systems Division awarded a contract to McDonnell Douglas to begin development on an F-15 concept that would allow these highly capable fighters to take off and land on short or damaged runways. The concept was fairly straightforward. In the event of a war with the Soviet Union, airstrips would likely be among the first targets. As a result, the Air Force wanted to ensure they could still get fighters in the air even after such a bombardment. These efforts to modify the F-15 to take off from water-soaked, damaged runways were bolstered by the introduction of thrust vectoring technology. Thrust vector controls allow the pilot to literally aim the outflow of thrust from their aircraft's engines independent of the fuselage itself. In more advanced thrust vectoring platforms like Russia's Sukhoi Su-35, thrust vector controls allow the jet nozzle to move in any direction, whereas the experimental F-15 STOL MTD utilized a simpler two-directional thrust vector control that allowed the pilot to orient the outflow of thrust up to 20 degrees up or down. The front canards also serve to increase maneuverability at lower speeds. A similar approach has since been adopted by China's Chengdu J-20, the nation's first stealth fighter. However, the F-15 Active did test some flight systems that would go on to find a home in the forthcoming F-15E Strike Eagle, or a variant of the F-15 intended for air-to-ground engagements. In fact, during the Active program, the cockpit of the testbed F-15 was modified to match that of the F-15E. Another important change NASA made in their F-15 Active testbed was the introduction of Pratt & Whitney pitch yaw balance beam nozzles PYBBN on a new set of engines, the F-100PW229. Unlike the previous thrust vector control apparatus under the STOL MTD program, these new nozzles offered a full 360-degree arcade in which the nozzles could redirect outflow. The F-15 Active flying qualities are significantly improved over production F-15 aircraft. Aircraft response is crisp and heavily damped throughout the research flight envelope. NASA officials estimated that stability at supersonic speeds was improved by a factor of more than 100% by the addition of the new front canards.